So it is being suggested that there is another possibility, another way of seeing this reality. Majority of people in the world experience this reality from a viewpoint that is very influenced by early days when they grow up, and their experience of this reality is largely generated from a basic, fundamental misconception. So the majority of people that live in the world see this reality from a misconceived viewpoint. And that misconceived viewpoint is that this is real. This is real. Go out in the street and ask people, and they will say, yes, I am real. This world is real. The universe is real. Everything that's happening is real. It's happening to me. And I have free will and choice to influence what's happening. This is major, incredibly major misconception most people live in. That's why we have, that to some extent, that's the influence of the world that we live in today. So what is happening in this world at this time is a huge frustration and anger about not being able to find what the seeker longs for. Because directly, at a very early age, individuality is taken on. At a very early age, suddenly there's a sense of being an individual. It's a contracted energy that seems to enter the young child, and when that contracted energy seems to enter or seems to arise in the body, awareness arises with it. And directly that awareness of that energy arises, there's a sense of individuality that arises with that. And that is the beginning of the I am dream. Most people that are young enter what I call the I am dream. 2, 3, 4 years old, 5 years old, maybe. And they then that sense of that I am dream is reinforced and supported by all the people that they meet, their parents and so on, who in the main live in that dream. I am real, the world is real. So they enter that and they embrace that kind of concept of the world and the reality that they live in. And they grow up in that. And the dilemma that arises is that feeling I am real and the world is real brings with it a sense of separation. Because suddenly they are an individual and everything else that's happening outside of that individuality is happening to them. So when the I am dream, when the dreamer sees a tree, the tree is happening to the individual. Something out there is happening to them. And somehow the feeling that the tree is happening to them makes them separate from the tree. I am the individual and the tree is over there, it's separate from me. And the feeling that comes up, or the experience that comes up of separation, is somehow unsatisfactory. Most people in the world don't even recognize that. But their feeling of not being satisfied, even though it's not necessarily recognized, is somehow compensated for. So what you're watching in the world are people compensating for a sense of loss. I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. It satisfies them for a short while. and then it goes away. Because the other thing that's happening in that reality is that people live in a subject-object world reality. It's an artificial, misconceived reality, but it's a subject-object reality. I'm the subject, and everything else is the object. So when some people feel that this is not satisfying, they need to find an answer. The problem arises, they look for the answer in another object. Great wealth, another lover, lots of love. I quite like the idea of having lots of love. Or they look deeply at things that they call awakening, enlightenment, the kingdom of heaven. In the Buddhist research or in the Buddhist world, enlightenment. So they then objectify having great wealth, lots of lovers, love, or enlightenment, or the kingdom of heaven, or whatever it is. There's a list of things. But it is an object that can be obtained for the individual. I will obtain this object. And the irony of that is that effort to obtain that object, to obtain permanent satisfaction or fulfillment, is absolutely, wonderfully and completely futile. It's utterly futile. Hence you see the world today that is frustrated that it can't find fulfillment. So it goes to war, it goes to this, it goes to that. All the frustration of enough people and anger that's arising in the world today is arising out of the dissatisfaction of not being able to find an object that will fulfill permanently in that person's life. Nothing will fulfill it. Because what is looked for, what is sought, already is. It's all there. All there is nothing apparently happening. In this room, all there is nothing apparently happening. Sitting on a seat is nothing apparently happening. Hearing this voice is nothing apparently happening. Hearing any voice is nothing apparently happening. It's already, the beloved is all there is. There isn't anything else but that. That's all there is. The attempt to find the object is the beloved. Tiny movements of the body is the beloved. What is longed for can never be escaped because it's all there is already. It's all there is and isn't. So there's nothing to look for. How can there be anything to look for if it already is? So we can talk together, and it's possible that some ideas that people have would meet this sort of radical view, and those ideas might wobble a bit here and there, or fall away. But basically, this whole communication is a vehicle for something else energetic, which can't be spoken of and can't be described. And if suddenly the whole illusion of there being somebody and the world being real is no more, what is there cannot be described. It's impossible to describe. There is simply what is.